What is up, Dnow leaders? Thank you so much for being a part of this weekend. This weekend would not be possible without you guys. I'm very grateful for the time, the commitment, the effort, the emotion that you're going to be putting into this weekend. And again, I'm so thankful, and I'm excited for my students. I'm also excited for you. Some of the most amazing moments in my life happened when I was in your shoes as a college Dnow leader. Seeing students respond to the gospel, seeing students take steps of faith, and just by being there and saying yes to Jesus and the call to go and minister to people, just seeing that kind of fruit, it changed my life. So I'm very excited for you, and I'm excited for my students. And you also need to know that our students are excited for Dnow. They are. They gave a bigger cheer for Dnow a couple weeks ago than they did for camp. So they're excited, they're hungry, and that hopefully kind of chills your nerves a little bit because they're going to come hungry. They're going to want to listen, and I'm just so excited for you. So if you're new to Dnow, if you don't know what Dnow is, I'll get to that in just a second, but let me introduce myself first. My name is Q. I'm the youth pastor here at Church 137. I've been here since the beginning, 2016, and have been the youth pastor ever since this church has existed. And so it's been a wild ride. It's been fun. I've seen students really fall more in love with Jesus than myself, which is the goal of my own personal ministry with any sort of age group I'm working with. I want adults to, and I want kids to, take bigger steps of faith than I am. I want to see some world changers, and so that's my outlook on ministry. And I'm jacked to be here. I'm jacked to share my ministry with other people and continue to bring in some solid influencers for my students. So to Dnow is it's a fairly old concept of doing ministry, especially in the youth realm of things. It's a traditional way of getting our students discipled by other people. And what it will look like is all of our students will be broken up into small groups based on their age and their gender. Okay, they'll be broken up into those groups, and they'll be led by one of you guys throughout the whole weekend. And you'll be placed with a group, with a co-leader, and in a host home. A host home is one of our church families who open up their home for the weekend for you and for your group to meet and do Bible study, and to also prepare for other events that we'll have. So you'll have a small group on Friday, you'll have a small group on Saturday morning, you'll have a small group on Saturday night. And you'll be with your group the entire weekend. You are their fun instigator, you are their serious instigator. And really that's the best coaching tool I can give you, is when it's time to get serious, get serious. And when it's time to have fun, let loose. And I'm just, again, super excited for you and for our students. And so those are the main things, right? A small group, a host home, and having fun. But the goal of Dnow, right? The goal of Dnow is for students to connect with God and students to connect with one another. And so that's why putting them in a small group, putting them in a position where they have to articulate what's going on inside of their brain, inside of their heart, is how they're going to engage with God more. Sometimes when we're just the receiver, and it's not as deep welling, but when we start to become a participant, we start to interact with what we really believe. And then we also get to interact with one another. And so small groups are the biggest key to it all. We'll also have moments of obviously planned fun, but also moments of planned worship, where students get to truly embrace the reality of Jesus. And so we're so excited for this weekend. The theme for the weekend is hard to believe. We're following the story of Jonah, and as hard to believe as the story it is, we're going to pick on some key points that happened in his story and his ministry, and you'll see those lessons that you're going to be leading with your co-leader in this email. And so you'll see questions are on there, what to read is on there, and you can feel free to just go through it, highlight some things you want to make note of and really emphasize in that lesson when you're teaching it. Don't feel like you have to memorize the lesson, but definitely be acquainted with it, because you and that co-leader will be leading it together. So the hard to believe portion that we'll be focusing on is, one, it's hard to believe that we can't outrun God's love. Jonah ignores God, wants to go in the furthest direction of what God wants for him. And still God chases him down and brings him back on track. It's a beautiful story that God doesn't give up on us. The second part of what's hard to believe is, it's hard to believe that God gave Jonah a message that saved millions of people. And he now has given us a message that can save the world. But also, he gave Jonah the opportunity to share the message even after disobedience. And so God gives us more chances. It's hard to believe he gives us more chances to give this incredible message away. So those are the two things you're going to be focusing on. And there will be a third lesson, but it's going to be more so a response of how the weekend goes. And that'll be Saturday night. You can share your testimony at that time. You can encourage others to share theirs. But you really want to get the students engaging in every single lesson. Want to really understand where they're at and allow God through prayer to do some more than we can do on our own. So those are some of the main pieces of the theme, of the lessons, of the small group. But one of the biggest things that students are going to be looking forward to is sync. It's hard to believe, okay, that the biggest thing of our weekend for our students going into it, besides meeting with God and meeting with others, is this dance competition we call Sync. It stands for Synchronized Dance Competition. But it's a big thing. Students are already talking about it. They're already getting a little aggressive, a little chipper. But really, it's really simple. You're going to have a song, and you're going to choreograph it with your group, and then you're going to perform it in front of the rest of the youth group, and there'll be judges, and the judges will be the ones picking our winner. And to really get an idea of what that looks like, I would go to our church Facebook page and look up some photos of our previous Dnows. You'll see just how serious our students take it. And that's probably my biggest resource I can give you to really get a full idea of what our Dnow looks like. Go to our Facebook page, Church 137. Go to our Facebook page. And if you want some videos, I can send some videos as well. I'll probably send some videos in this email as well for you to get an idea of what sync looks like and what the weekend will look like. And so you'll be planning that with your co-leader and with your team. Your students are gonna bring in some input, so just wait for that. But there's a few things in this email I want to highlight real quickly. One is I need a group name and I need a group color. So we're going with the theme of Jonah. So our team names, we want to go with types of fish. So you can be the sharks, you can be the clownfish, you can be the puffer fishes, whatever you want to go with. And then I would recommend going with a color that fits with that fish, right? And again, you want to work with your co-leader on these things, and your co-leader's name will be in this email as well. So jump on that. If you can get those to me within the week, that'd be super, super great. The other thing in this email to be aware of is there is a Dnow leader form that I need you to fill out. This helps us with getting t-shirts, how to pray for you before the event, and also it helps our host home get an idea of who you are, because they will be opening up their home for you. So fill that form out. It's not at the very bottom of the email, but it's almost there. At the very bottom of the email is more information for you that you can look at. You might get a background check email, so be aware that that might be coming your way. Some of you have already had that filled out with us, some of you haven't. So that'll be coming through Ministry Safe if you have to fill that out for us. Again, some of you already have. But once again, I just want to say I'm so grateful for you taking the time out to be with our students this weekend. I'm excited for what God has for each and every one of you and for our students. If you have any questions at all, please reach out. We want to make this as smooth as possible for you guys, and we'll get back to you guys on a sync song. We won't pick the exact song for you, but we will probably have a theme, so it'll be easy for you to pick a song, because that can be kind of daunting to pick that. But again, if you can get your team name, your team color to me within the week, that'd be amazing. Hope you guys are having an awesome March. It's only been half a day, so I hope it's been going well. Reach out if you have any questions. Thanks again.